Salute to all the real ones out there. It's your boy Mike coming at you again with another video. Alright, if you like what my content represents, what I'm talking about in my videos, like, comment, subscribe, and share those videos with anybody you think may benefit from them, alright? Now, today's topic is going to be like a two-sider, alright? So the first thing I'm going to cover is psychological warfare, and the second part of the video I'm going to cover my strategy on how to navigate through a war, navigate that war. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. In my opinion, critical thinking and the ability for one to use their common sense, curiosity, and faculties of reason is paramount, especially as a man, in order to develop one's character. We are heavily bombarded by the societies in which we live to conform to certain practices and ideals. So one form of psychological warfare that is against us, and like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. If you are religious, and it's helping you in your life, I give you nothing but respect for being disciplined and following something that you believe in. And if it's making you a better person, hey, salute to you, because you one of the real ones, But I feel like religion is one of the strongest facets of psychological warfare, and I'm going to explain why. So religion, though beneficial in nation building and its massive strength in terms of its ability to bring people together under one cause, tends to dissolve one's individual sense of reason, because there's always a fear of eternal damnation, unquestionable boundaries, restrictions, rituals, traditions that may have roots in things that are diametrically opposed to the actual, let's say, mission statement of the religion. So if we look at, like, for example, Catholicism, I'm not going to go real deep into it, and I study, like, where are the origins of some of the things that we're doing within the Catholic religion. What if I find that it's linked to paganism? Like, that's going to be a process for me to have to swallow that bitter pill. But what if I don't? And I just blindly continue practicing the religion? I mean, in a way, it's like you're an agent of paganism, though you feel like you're Catholic. You see what I mean? So it's like, it would be like me joining a Greek fraternity without really doing the research on that fraternity and what it represents, who controls it, and what agenda it has for all of its members. So I'm in it, I'm in the fraternity. I'm over here yelling and stomping the yard and doing all that. I'm getting the hookups on the jobs and all that, but do I really understand what I'm a part of? Or, for example, I was in the U.S. military. Who's to say that I'm not, let's say, the devil's strong arm? Because I'm part of a military that, for whatever reasons it decides, will go to another land and destroy it in the face of, or in the name of, or under the guise of freedom, spreading democracy. Well, what the fuck if that country don't want no democracy? Now I'm just coming in and force feeding them my version of how they should live when I don't know nothing about their culture. So you see, like, I'm a soldier and I think I'm serving my country, which I am. But at the same time, I'm also selling my soul because I'm participating in something that might be satanic. And I'm none the wiser because I don't understand the origin of the military or the real reason why we're going to all these wars. Public schools. All right. This is definitely a strong branch of psychological warfare because you're hitting kids when they're young. Before they have enough faculties of reason of their own as adults, they're already being programmed to think a certain way. So one thing I noticed about public schools is that they stamp out curiosity in the natural genes of children and molds people to obey authority and go with the flow rather than questioning and looking for alternative methods to improve or challenge the status quo. Standardized testing forces all students to regurgitate information, which is taught in a robotic format. Creativity is killed in favor of groupthink conformity. So one of the things that used to get me in trouble, it wasn't like I was a bad kid in school, but I was definitely a fast thinker and I read a lot of encyclopedias when I was a kid. I had like a real thirst for knowledge to understand what I could, like, to understand the world that I live in. So when I would get to school, I would see that a lot of the curriculum was really opposed and like totally left field from what I was reading on my own time. So I was like, like, it would make me question. But when I would question, I would be met with so much resistance, and it was almost like I was ostracized in the class because I was holding everybody else back from getting the information that they need to pass the test. But we weren't having like any real debates about whether the information they're telling us holds any validity. So you could have been teaching us some total garbage, and every single year that garbage just gets recycled to the newest version of like a download, where they now strip out even more stuff. Like, for example, kids now, they don't even learn about slavery. So what's that do? That makes black people in this nation grow up none the wiser of how much the system is built on their backs. And when they go and they don't get the same results, they'll start to think that it's their fault, or they won't understand the reason. But there is a reason, you know what I mean? You just don't know the real history. And every single year they're like giving you a cookie cutter version of what they want you to know, not what the actual truth is. Mainstream media. Alright, so this is, you already know, mainstream media is definitely a propaganda machine, yo. So, mainstream media enforces stereotypes, perpetuates propaganda, predictive programming, manufactures consent, and those who can't see the bigger picture or think critically basically begin to follow false ideologies, behaviors, and scripted stories. These stories dumb down the people and keep populations ignorant and misinformed. People worship idols who support political agendas and culture chains. Also, you have female supremacy as well as the black matrix. So, if you think about, like, for example, let's stick on the fact with black people, all right? Statistics will prove you that black people probably commit as much crime as every other, let's say, non-white group. Especially if you look at how many black people there are and then how many crimes are committed. I mean, it's a real small fraction, you know? And I'm not justifying people who commit crime, but I'm saying that that's another video. But if you go worldwide and ask people what they think of black people, it's going to be a lot of adjectives that you hear where it's going to be surprising. Like, damn, you really think we're all criminals and this and that? And why? It's because the image that is perpetuated about us worldwide always has to do with crime, laziness, entertainment. Our scholars, our inventors, our young men and women who solve grand mysteries, like come up with cures on cancer and things like that, you don't hear about them. The ones who win Nobel Peace Prizes, you don't hear about them either. But the one who, you know, is ratchet as hell and fighting the father of her kids and breaking his glass window will be on World Star, and that shit will have so many millions of views across the whole world. And then World Star is not a black-owned entity. They profit off the pain and dysfunction of the black community. But it'll make everyone think that black people, for the most part, are like that, because that's the only images they see. We don't control the mainstream media, so we don't control our narrative. Case in point. Political and cultural movements, definitely psychological warfare, because you have divide and conquer. So there's divide and conquer techniques going on between race, class, sex, occupation, education, and even social status. And this controls the masses. So take something like LGBTQ, and I think they're adding on a fucking P for pedophilia. I mean, wow. Black Lives Matter. All these programs are funded, spearheaded campaigns designed to turn people against each other and fulfill agendas so that those who cannot think critically are taken advantage of. All right, it's about to get real. So if you want to get mad, nigga, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the messenger. Get mad enough to research what I'm saying and see don't what I'm talking about is true. Like see if I'm lying about it. All right, before you fucking get mad at me and want to shoot me in the chest because I'm the messenger. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? But anyway, LGBTQ, and I think now P, promotes sexual confusion, increases tension between the genders, may result in more pedophilia, normalizes abnormalities, adds to political correctness and cultural Marxism, i.e. hate speech or tolerance. You see what I mean? The first thing you want to do if you want to destroy a nation is you take away the nation's ability to critically think and talk about what they don't find to be correct. It questions the natural order of gender roles, and it also weakens nations because after a while you have effeminate men who are scared to stand up for something, so they begin to go along with the flow, and that means the people who implement these strategies have no resistance, because typically resistance will come from males that are willing to die for what they believe in. Today, no one's willing to die for shit. Everybody's thinking on their own individual level and kind of shrugging their shoulders about all the dysfunction that is just permeating society. Me Too movement. Alright, what's that do? It gives women unprecedented power to destroy men by way of false allegations. Now, I'm not saying every last person who's in the Me Too movement did some is lying. But what I am saying is that it can be taken advantage of. And also notice that with false allegations, there still is no punishment that's been implemented to keep women from not making up a story and cashing out on somebody's livelihood. False allegations, which, when discovered to be false, still ruin a man's reputation. The women are not punished for the accusations, a supercharged feminist power grab aimed at primarily rich, wealthy men in high positions in Hollywood, music, and film industries. All right. Like Hollywood is in itself is like the devil's playground. I'm not gonna sit there and lie about that. Like, so when I hear about, whoever the fuck Harvey Weinstein, made girls give him a blowjob before they got the movie role, it's kind of like, okay, I get it, you know what I mean? But you wait until 5, 10, 15, upwards of like 30 years later to now come out talking about he made me did that. But you rode on the coattails of that person, gave him the blowjob, and then cashed out in a way that was so major compared to the average woman. So why should I really have any mercy for you? And also another thing, what that does, normal women can then destroy me. Imagine I'm at work and a girl just says, hey, Mike raped me. I'm going to get destroyed and be under investigation before the truth even comes out. Maybe that she was just mad at me because I turned her down. The truth comes out, my reputation destroyed, I lost my job. That's always going to be on my record. And she just lives sky-free, just whistling along like no shit ever happened. Black Lives Matter. Alright, now this one's real touchy. Like I said, don't get mad at me. Look at the truth. It's funded by George Soros, who is a rich white billionaire. Why would a white dude fund Black Lives Matter? What else did he fund? Who else is he in ties with? See, these is critical thinking skills that most motherfuckers don't have today. So when a person like me starts figuring that stuff out on his own, I'm going to have a whole nother mindset. I'm not just going to put on the shirt talking about I can't breathe. In my opinion, Black Lives Matter should be replaced with the mentality that every other race would have. And it's fucking eye for an eye. You kill my kid, I'm killing you. Period. Not going to march. Not going to get on TV and cry. Not going to, hold a barbecue where white people can come and target me because it's just Black Lives Matter everywhere. No, I'm going to show you Black Lives Matter. It's going to be an eye for an eye. You take me out, I'm taking you out. Alright, so Black Lives Matter is led by lesbian black feminists. Why would they do that? Serves to set blacks against whites via proxy wars to create a hostile environment whereby the government can eventually issue martial law. Gun control regulations to stop the imminent race war. Works hand in hand with falsified media reports of police brutality. The cops are involved and they're paid agents / Freemasons who are incentivized to murder blacks in order to fan the flames and keep tensions high. And notice that every single time it's election year, election is right around the corner, there's just way more drama going on. Think critically and stop being a victim to all this deception. Wake the fuck up and look around. Do research. You have a phone right in front of you. These are just a few of the elements which affect one's ability to effectively see through their own eyes and follow their own hearts. There are so many layers to this psychological warfare which keep people from thinking, talking, moving, and acting different than the average in the crowd. My solution is to mold your life based on your own ideals. So this is how I attack all this psychological warfare. 1, I think different. I enjoy reading and staying clear of the mainstream media. Basically, whatever comes to my mind, I follow it in order to develop my own character. Trends, sports, celebrity news, or anything else trivial does not occupy much of my time, and nor should it. Nor should it. And that's a video for another day. Talking different, expanding my vocabulary. In group discussions, I bring up topics of self-improvement or of philosophical principles to see how other people view them. And honestly, to be honest, whenever I do that, I realize, I guess I'm the only one who thinks like that. So I fall back and then just hear conversations that have no depth, no validity, no tinge of thought, really. I have substance in my conversations and enjoy sharing wisdom and dropping knowledge and challenging people's perspectives. So in my case, when I'm in a social setting, for the most part, I'll throw a little a little bait out there to see who bites. And that person who bites, I immediately will have a little bit more respect for them mentally, because I see that they're thinking on the same level as me. The average person, when I bring something up like that, will go speechless and honestly look like they want me to change the topic, which I usually will. I'll go to something superficial that's easy to cover, and then I'll just see how everybody's eyes light up, like, ooh, that's a stupid ass topic that I can really go deep on. Move different. I'm always thinking, how can I better myself? I do the opposite of what average people do. Push my limits, set goals, look for informational and successful people, and aim to emulate them rather than stroking my ego by comparing myself to average. I don't follow the crowd, and I only march to the beat of my own drum. And over time, that makes me very powerful. And what happens? Other people want to, let's say, do the same. And lastly, I act different. Personally, I enjoy shattering the stereotypical black behaviors while simultaneously being true to myself, being who I aspire to be versus what people expect or perceive me to be. So I know I'm a black dude with tattoos on my neck, but watch me blow your mind on any fucking topic, no matter what it is. So think, talk, act different if you want to overcome psychological warfare. I hope y'all got something out of this video. And like I said, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the truth and start doing your own research. That'll get you one step closer to, let's say, overcoming all of this deception that's going on, man. You're being attacked on so many different levels, whether it's the food, the water, the snacks you consume, the movies you watch, the entertainers and the celebrities you follow. Like, you don't understand how deep this shit goes. Now, I don't mean to depress y'all, but I'm just trying to get y'all to be aware. Wake the fuck up. Alright, so like, comment, subscribe. I'll holler at y'all in the next video.